say, boy. Hey, you all, here's our next guest. My next guest represents a new generation of life and relationship coaches. Her doctorate in organizational psychology and a master's with a concentration in clinical psychology was received from St. Louis University over in St. Louis. Her undergraduate degree in psychology was completed at Spelman College in Atlanta. My daughter attends there right now. That's a great school. She's on the show to discuss the warning signs of a domestic violent relationship, both on men and women. She is also the author of A Woman's True Purpose, Live Like You Matter. That's the name of the book. Before I introduce her, I want to let you all know this interview is not totally about the Chris Brown-Rihanna incident. It most certainly is not about the story that came out about B.B. Winer, which is merely an allegation. Right. You know, this is something that happened supposedly the day before Valentine's Day, just got reported this weekend. Man, sounds got a little smell on it right there. So this is not about any of that. This is there are people out there in our listening audience, because of the Chris Brown-Rihanna situation, has brought this big story to the forefront. Is something that we wanted to get some information out to our listeners. Please welcome to the show Dr. Nicole LaBeach.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, Dr. Nicole.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, Doctor. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question, just to get this thing started off this way.
Okay.
How often are men abused versus women?
Well, you know, for men right now, we're looking at about 1 in 9 men, which is different than 1 in 3 for women.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So you know, it's happening, and it's pretty prevalent, man.
Okay, I'm going about this interview a little bit backwards, so just bear with me here. What advice do you give men who are being attacked by women?
Run. Get up out of there.
Run. Yeah, get up out of there.
Run. Get up out of there, because you know you don't want to get in a situation where you're basically catching a case for something that you haven't done. And a lot of times, the people that will call about abuse, the people that are calling 911 are, you know, a lot of times your neighbors. They hear a lot of commotion going on. They get a little nervous. They're like, you know, we know they kind of rough over there, and we think somebody might get hurt. So they'll call the police. The police shows up, and you don't know what happens after that point. And because the numbers are so, you know, backwards as it relates to women getting abused so much more than men, a lot of times they walk in ready to protect the woman.
Absolutely.
So that doesn't fare too well for you.
Right. Now, you just gave that advice to men. What advice do you give to women that are being attacked by men?
You know, a lot of times it's so psychological with women. They got to get a plan. I mean, if you can get out of there, get to someplace safe.
I've heard that.
Tell folks about it. A lot of times women hide so much because they're ashamed and they're afraid. So they hide everything. You know, if somebody is putting their hands on you, you don't want to stick around to prove that he won't kill you because he loves you.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay? And that's the real about that. You want to get up out of there. And if it's such a tight situation where you're like, you know, my money is not right, I got these kids, whatever the case is, then you got to figure out a plan and get some help so that you can get out of there safely.
But
so that's what stops a lot of women, is not having. That's what stops a lot of women, is not having an exit plan.
A lot of times, you know, if you're married, look at it this way, Steve. You know, women have different beliefs about marriage.
Right.
And some of them have childhoods that are full of trauma, where they, you know, it's like they have a tolerance for it because they've seen it so much. So, you know, when it starts happening to you in your adult relationship, it's like, wow, this is not really happening. So that denial kicks in full force, because a lot of times, you know, it doesn't start abusive. You know, you're not going to meet a guy in a bar and he introduces you to himself and a beat down in the same moment. It's not happening like that.
Right, it gradually builds.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Right?
Snap.
It's that gradual build. So by the time you are knee-deep in it, you are emotionally invested. You know, maybe you and this guy live together. You know, he's your Prince Charming, and then all of a sudden things start to change. Meanwhile, your friend thinks he's the best thing that ever happened to anybody. So it's such a setup, and if your money is invested in this and you're afraid, it just compounds everything.
Absolutely.
So you go back.
Wow.
Yeah.
You keep going
Okay,
back.
now, you know what? I just want to give women a moment of empowerment here. You've got a book out. And the name of the book of A Woman's True Purpose,
Right.
Live Like You Matter.
Yes.
How can this book, A Woman's True Purpose, Live Like You Matter, by Dr. Nicole LaBeach, how can this assist troubled women?
Well, you know, when I wrote the book, I wrote it to be a mirror that would offer women an honest look at themselves, you know, without falling out. Because it's hard sometimes to look at yourself from every angle and to really figure out, okay, who am I? Where am I? How did I get here? And how do I get where I want to be? And that's really why I wrote the book, because I got tired of seeing women hitting their head up against the wall, because I used to do that too, you know, getting into the same cycle, same scenarios over and over again. And as I moved out of that, I started to say, I need to write some of this stuff down.
Wow.
You know, so there's some, you know, women out there that are ready, because you got to be ready to take that look. You know?
Hey, the name of the book, everybody, is A Woman's True Purpose, Live Like You Matter. That's A Woman's True Purpose, Live Like You Matter, is by Dr. Nicole LaBeach. Let me ask you this before we run out of time.
Yeah.
Is the media jumping the gun in reacting negatively about Chris Brown's alleged attack on Rihanna?
Man, you know, I've thought about this thing so much because you see it every day on the news. You know, the problem is the media didn't have to jump very far, you know. There's been so much to work with between pictures and her refusal to cooperate, him offering her gifts. It's like they're following a textbook version of the abuse cycle right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she went back.
So you've seen this exact, I mean, this is how a lot of abuse cases play out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only thing we're not really seeing with the Rihanna and Chris situation is phase one, which is considered like the tension and build-up, because you don't know the backstory. But once you get into that next phase, that explosion, that's when you're seeing the hitting and the kicking and the choking and weapons and all kind of different things, and then you go right into the honeymoon phase. You know, that's where I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You know, if you hadn't have said this, I wouldn't have gotten so mad. I won't do it again.
Wow.
The gifts start coming.
And you know what, though? Let me ask you this, though, quickly, Doctor, because, you know, a lot of women, like you say, they got kids, there's money involved, they don't have an exit plan, they're married. Rihanna doesn't have a financial problem.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any kids. She's not married. So what is it that keeps her now?
You know, that emotional tie is for real. And in the honeymoon stage where they are right now, that's not when women usually leave. Okay? Because we're making up at this point, and I love you.
Yeah, what I think is love.
Expecting her to do something right now that really goes against the pattern of somebody that has been in an abusive situation.
Well, if I was her daddy, I could help her out. I really would.
I hear you, man, on that.
Because I got straight cold news for him. I'm going to say it last time. Put your hands on my babies, any one of them.
We'll come back and say goodbye to Dr. Nicole LaBeach right after.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
52 minutes after the hour. Our special guest this morning is Dr. Nicole LaBeach. She's got a book out, everybody. It's called A Woman's True Purpose, Live Like You Matter. A Woman's True Purpose, Live Like You Matter, Dr. Nicole LaBeach. Doctor, you have a website?
Yes, www.askdrnicole.com.
Ask Doctor, is it just DR?
Just DR, AskDrNicole.com.
Spell Nicole.
Nicole.
Nicole. AskDrNicole.com. And people can go there for help.
Please, come to the website. And I got to say this real quick. Steve, I want to thank you for real, for act like a lady, think like a man. Because I needed some help out here. We got a lot of the same views, and I needed some help, brother. So I appreciate it. I really do. It's helped me out a whole lot.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you calling in because, this situation here with domestic violence, people think that the media is overrunning it with Chris Brown and Rihanna, and I guess I could agree with that to a degree. I'm on it because I take a stand because I have daughters.
Right.
It's very, very important that my young daughters, 21 and 226 and a 12-year-old, gets it in their head clearly, that this is not the way it's done. And I just found it to be a teachable moment. What makes it such a teachable moment is because these two people are very, very famous.
Right.
The tragedy in all of this is that this is happening to millions of women who do not have fame. Somebody can get their story out there told. Right. And that's the problem with it, But as I've often found out in my career, that to whom much is given, much is required. So it comes to you a lot of times in bigger ways because it's happening to you in bigger ways too.
Right.
And so I appreciate people like yourself who have ways to help people because it is a huge problem and it needs to stop. It really, really does.
No doubt about it. I agree with you, man.
It's www.askdrnicole. That's A-S-K, Dr. D-R, Nicole, Nicole.com. Yep. Any questions, y'all go there right now. She's got a book out. It's called A Woman's True Purpose. Live Like You Matter.
I like that.
And please let your folks go to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They've got great resources there as well.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Nicole, for joining us this morning. Okay?
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you,
Dr. Thank you very,
Nicole.
very much. 55 after the hour.